to another edition of BeerAmerica.tv. I am Paul Leone with
John Pinkerton.
And Chris Lady. How are you guys doing?
We are here at the distillery in Savannah, Georgia, and we have a beer that I have not had before from Weyerbacher, Double Simcoe, which means what, by the way? Simcoe is...
Simcoe is an American-grown hop, and it is a relative new variety, quite big and piney, and has that kind of resiny, sort of American... tends to lean towards the citrus end of things, but also a little bit of on the piney end of things.
Yep. And is Simcoe a commonly used hop in a lot of beers? It seems like I've read that people use Simcoe. No?
Yeah, well, it falls into that kind of variety that a lot of American brewers are kind of like dabbling in some of these newer varieties, and especially now with the hop crisis, I think people are approaching some of these newer varieties with a little bit of trepidation because you just don't know whether they're going to be available or not.
Right.
But I think this was probably one of the first Weyerbacher beers that I tried, and this was at the Savannah Craft Beer Festival, the inaugural Savannah Craft Beer Festival.
Gosh, I don't remember this one, really. Okay,
oh, yeah.
Maybe I didn't try it.
It kind of blew my mind. I was like, wow, okay, this is what Weyerbacher's all about. It's really damn good.
Oh, David, there you go.
For you. There is another one. There is another one.
Just a little spooge at the end there.
So
How about that? Here you go. Oh, we just happen to have two bottles. There you go.
I think I've had it here at the distillery. They had it on tap.
Good God almighty. I mean,
and Double Simcoe, Weyerbacher is out of Easton, Pennsylvania.
Well, the double part, of course, implies that it is a double IPA.
And it's a 9% alcohol, so it's kind of a larger beer. Yeah,
that's a sipper.
Big beer.
But man, it is just
now off the smell, and I haven't tasted it yet.
oozing with
it
hop
seems to me
aroma.
Right, and tell me this, because it seems to me, having other beers, that the more it's hopped, it doesn't get more bitter, but does it almost get sweeter?
Well,
in a sense, if you hop it
we're really talking about two different things here. Typically with a double IPA, because you're also kind of increasing the alcohol content, you're increasing the malt content.
That is nice.
Typically, stronger beers, when you increase your malt content,
Yeah.
you're providing more of that fuel for the yeast to eat for alcohol.
Okay.
But you're also going to leave more of that malt stamp, if you will, behind.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of malt character there as well.
Yeah.
That's that sweetness. That's
it seems there are some hoppy beers that I've had, super hoppy beers, that almost take that bitterness away and get a little bit sweeter. And that's why I was curious if that. Go ahead and smell it right to the camera. Put your nose right up there. You're a good smeller. What do you get off the nose?
What do you get off the nose?
It's here.
Do I have any
Take a
hangers
smell.
or
Take a
anything
sniff.
weird about that?
Sniff. Oh wait. You're
This
not
is
really
really
here.
nice.
Sorry.
Television.
Really nice.
It is. And I just want to reiterate, I mean, we kind of make this point from time to time when we're talking about hoppy beers. When we talk about how extremely hoppy it is, we're not necessarily talking about how extremely bitter it is. This beer, that first sip, even as it settles, I'm not getting like a painful bitterness. It might be that the BUs are really, really high, the bitterness units, the measure that analytical measure that we distinguish how bitter a beer is. That value may be relatively high, but what I'm tasting here is not so intense because there's a lot of malt backbone.
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
It's it's not overly bitter where you're all of a sudden you're just puckering and want to scrape your tongue off.
No.
You're trying to get the bitterness
and
off your
that's
tongue.
why
I mean,
right. That's why I go with the sweetness thing. It's like it doesn't taste like, the bitter beer face or whatever.
I think the important distinction to make here is that the way you get enormous amounts of that juicy hoppy flavor is by dry hopping. I mean, there's just no other way to do it. I mean, there's some sneaky ways to do it, like using hop oils and essences and this sort of thing. But the true art with getting that character is dry hopping. When you do it, what temperature your beer is when you're doing it, and all this kind of stuff. And there's all kinds of ways to push and pull that.
This
It's
might
not just an art; it is a science.
This
indeed.
might be my favorite beer of all time.
Wow, and for a malt
Whoa.
man, that's
No.
that's taking a big leap here.
Just kidding.
No?
Just kidding, but it's very good. I'm just I thought you were gonna go. Really? No.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No,
for a
but I
malt
do
man,
enjoy it.
that'd be a stretch.
I enjoy this more than I thought I would, for sure. I mean, it's a wonderful beer. It really is.
I think it's amazing.
And we've had other Weyerbacher beers before, and I gotta say, they do it
Oh,
right.
that's right. We had the holiday beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I said in the holiday video that when I tasted the Weyerbacher beer, it was this particular beer at the festival, and I was just like I was blown away by the hop character.
Yeah.
I was anticipating that hoppiness in the holiday beer because you don't necessarily have to go with spices for the holidays.
Right.
Don't
It's a nice
necessarily
beer.
recommend that you do.
One thing, the
From
hop,
my personal bias.
kind of the hop character is like a piney resin. David was saying here a little earlier before we tasted it was grapefruity, right?
David,
so
you
much-
like?
I love.
David loves.
David loves.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I'm pleasantly surprised by this beer.
You're an American hop man, so that
Well,
doesn't
yeah, but I'm
surprise
also
me.
a malt guy, and this is
That's true.
this beer is.
Yeah. So.
So wonderfully well balanced, would you say? Yes.
Very well
Yeah,
balanced.
yeah.
Very well balanced.
Weyerbacher Simcoe IPA. Just to give you a shot at the label, if you see it in your beer aisle, there it is, right there.
And a sipper.
And it's a sipper, and it's a very nice color, I would say. If you can see that.
I should be sipping.
At 9, yeah.
David's chugging. but
See,
it
this
should
is
be
what's
sipping.
dangerous about a beer like this. It's so delicious. I mean, there's nothing.
No, it's true. That's right.
There's
it
nothing
tastes so
holding
good.
you back
you
here.
wanna
I mean,
throw it down.
It would almost be better if it was more bitter, so that you would kind of take your time. But I mean, I'm finding myself
Slow up a little bit.
gravitating
Pace
towards that
yourself.
flavor.
Yeah.
Like I want to
Yeah.
taste more of that. All that hoppy goodness. I
Yeah.
mean, that is delicious.
And as we sit
Yummy,
here
yummy,
and we,
yummy.
and we talk about beers, I want to give props to the people that are faithful followers of BeerAmerica.tv, especially the Beer Wench on Twitter. DrinkWithTheWench.com is her blog, and the Beer Babe, and the guys from who do what we do, who also have a beer blog, Suds or Duds. Those guys.
Suds or Duds?
Suds or Duds. Those guys actually correspond quite a bit. They're very cool. So check out Suds or Duds. And like I said, we're not the only game in town, although I think we're pretty good at what we do, and you should check us out. But those guys are pretty cool, so you should check them out. So anyway, thanks to all those people who follow us. My good buddy Tom Burr, who watches the videos every night, and your mom, who comments regularly. And
I haven't done
No-
my
nobody
mom doesn't
watches.
drink beer. It's really weird. Like, I love beer.
and my dad
Yeah,
who
mom's
watches
Nothing. I got nothing with my mom.
faithfully.
She wouldn't even drink the.
Yeah, we're
the
starting to
cider.
sound kind of pathetic. We're like.
Well, no, I mean, there's a
cheating,
lot of people
right?
who come to the site. But
Hey,
I
Mom,
wanna
where's
say,
the meatloaf?
I want to say thank you to those who are faithful to the site. I mean, there are a lot of good followers of the site. We need to say thanks.
All right.
Say
Thank
thanks.
you.
Just say thanks, okay? Don't make a big deal out of it, but say thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate
Thanks.
your service.
You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and also Moon River on Facebook as well as BeerAmerica.tv. How about you?
John Pinkerton, Chris Lady.
Chris
Yeah.
Lady, we're all on Facebook.
Magarafas.
Paul Leone, and McGruff is David Little, who does not happen to be in this episode, but there he is behind the camera. McGruff is
Drinking as normal.
on Twitter. And cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Enjoy drinking this one a lot. Oh yeah.
Thank
the
you
empty-
to the Weyerbacher folks.
Weyerbacher.
Cheers.
Yes.
Talk
Cheers.
about
To you.
happy goodness.
Go to your beer aisle, find it, try it.
Pennsylvania road trip.